Life is a mountain range that is full of peaks and valleys. Growing up is a process of climbing these mountains. This is true for everyone. While everyone's life is completely different, we all experience highs and lows. I think everyone can relate to the fact that life has peaks and valleys. I have experienced many highs and lows in my life, and I have learned to appreciate the highs and overcome the lows. During this presentation, I will share with you my peaks and my valleys and how I learned from both and became who I am today. In my early years, my mountain range consisted of a lot of peaks. I was born in Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. I was surrounded by a large, loving family. Most of my immediate family also lived in Virginia, so we often had very large family gatherings. I grew up very close to my cousins and other family members. My family would take me to D.C. and would show me all the museums. We spent a lot of time visiting D.C. There was always something to do and somebody to do it with. I also started school and I played sports, which allowed me to make a lot of friends. When I was not spending time with my family, I was always spending time with friends. I played gymnastics and baseball, which allowed me to grow closer to a lot of my peers. Now that I've shared some of the peaks in my life, I would like to tell you about some of my valleys. When I was in elementary school, my dad was offered a new job. This job meant that we had to move to North Carolina. The move from Virginia to North Carolina introduced valleys in my life. I became very shy because I was a new kid and nobody talked to me. It felt like my life was flipped completely around because I no longer had any friends and family and they were all in a different state. I noticed other kids began making fun of me. In elementary school, I would dye my hair fun colors and I would dress in funky clothes, and my classmates often bullied my appearance. In middle school, I was always seen as different because I was never part of the popular crowd. As I entered high school, I started noticing how anxious I would feel around people. I thought this anxiety was normal and I coped with it as best I could. After my first year of college, I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. This diagnosis was very overwhelming for me because it all just felt like a lot at once. I was introduced to medication, therapy, breathing exercises, etc. Now that I've spoken about my valleys, I will share how everything affected my life and made me who I am today. Growing up in a big family made me become a family-oriented person. I love staying in and love being around family. My house became my safe place. Being so close with my family made me a very empathetic person. I care about people very deeply, especially those who are close to me. Since I was bullied at a young age, I found escapes to make me feel better about myself. These escapes were softball and academics. Playing softball helped me clear my mind. I fell in love with the sport and I dedicated years of my life to playing softball. I worked extremely hard to achieve my goal of playing softball in college. I used academics as something to focus on. I always dreamed of becoming a nurse, and I knew it would take a lot of hard work. I had to keep my grades up so that I could apply to nursing school. I was able to overcome all the stress in my life, including my anxiety and being a student athlete. I'm glad I was able to overcome this because I was accepted into my dream nursing school. To sum it all up, I experienced many highs and many lows that shaped me as a person. As you climb the mountain range of life, the peaks and valleys make you who you are as a person. You have to have the valleys in order to have the peaks. Can you think of any peaks and valleys in your life? I'm sure you can because everybody goes through it. It's not the peaks and valleys that make you who you are, but it's what you do with them.